things that we ask for. When I go to any of the places, there are 5 things that I request. Any person who is a potential leader, or 2 leaders, or 3 leaders in the smaller group, the last meeting which is held, 5 points are made clear. One is that we have to set up a WhatsApp group, because you never know, when you're having a WhatsApp group, people are discussing, you'll come to know who is the person who's really, really active. Somewhat you'll come to know. Number 2 is that they have to form at all levels. I'm requesting this to get a leader. I've noticed what is happening is right now we have, in many places we have one leader, in many places we don't have a leader even, but we have one leader and many volunteers, followers. So the follower is waiting with hands tied, when is the leader going to say something? So here, what we have to do is, the second point I always stress on, is that we have a 10-member group formed there and then, ad hoc, and then formalized by the end of December. Okay, so that means, and with clear-cut responsibilities. I would request here, the office bearers who are here today, to actually, one thing they can do very constructively and present it tomorrow, is the exact role of, say, the 10-member group. What I'm saying is, what will be the role of a chairperson? I've got some ideas, I'm just telling you, if you can just sit down at night and formalize it a little bit. Every chapter would have, at every level, chapter level, district level, state level, and the national executive will have a similar structure. A similar structure in the sense, one chairperson, two vice chairperson, one secretary, 2 joint secretaries, one treasurer, one joint treasurer. Only in the case of national executive there will be 2 joint treasurers, because we have to look after lots of things, and one media coordinator and one finance coordinator. This is the 10-member group that we have thought of. So what I thought was, that is number 2 which is said when I go. Number 3, what is said is that we must have a weekly meeting. I'm really telling you, without the weekly meeting, it will not work. Even in the chapters that are existing and the chapters that we are trying to form, this 1 hour meeting, it should be strictly 1 hour from one day of the week at one fixed time. If they want, they can move the location, but I would prefer that they be one location, but they can move the location. Some people said, no, it won't work in one location. So I said, okay, you can move the location also. Then what you do is, in that, it's also to be very clear cut. What do you do in that meeting? The 40 minutes will be organizational and 20 minutes will be conceptual. It's very important. We are not doing the conceptual part. Some of the best moments that we have had in our weekly meetings, which used to be held, was the conceptual part. I can give you many examples of it. I'm not going to go into that. But I'm just telling you the conceptual part is extremely important, because that's where the definition of that elephant to our internally visually handicapped people will come out clearer and clearer and clearer. And now we can do that even online. We can even get some of our wonderful volunteers here. I've heard some of them speaking, like Sabyasachi and Ankit and all these people speaking. They speak beautifully. Why can't we get them online to speak to the people who are there? So this is the third thing, which the organizational part also must be with very small interjections. What are the small interjections? One is that I just go to X school today, in this week, and I tell them, look, we should play classical music when they're coming in, when they have a break, and when they're going out, and give them that link of the classical music that we have. We also empower them with that link. Then what we also can say, look, you can also do the SPIC MACAY pranayam technique. Very nice. I tell you, it's a wonderful thing that I've discovered. It's such a simple thing and so effective. You should have seen the response we got for this SPIC MACAY pranayam technique. So you say, look, we should do it in your school, and give them the video of that. That's the second thing. Now another person said, no, I'll go and do an orientation, okay? Empower them with that orient thing, Let them do an orientation. Another person said, no, I'll just show making of the Mahatma to 9th and 11th class of this school. Okay? So small interjections are very important. We can't just keep waiting for a big program to happen. And then we also wait for when the big program is happening, everybody joins in. So this is the model that I thought was very good, number 3. Number 4 was, in all these places, we have to focus, in my opinion, not on a state level. We have to focus on the district level. In the district level, what I'm trying to say is, here, you see what happens is, at the district level, it's smaller, number 1. Number 2, the district collector and the person who is there is very powerful. I have found very, very, very powerful. If the district collector sends one notification to all the schools and colleges, it is really, really respected. So, if we work on the district level rather than on the state level, where there is a state overall overarching body, yes, but at the district level we should work to make a small, at every district have a small advisory group that meets once in 3 months. The advisory group basically would be chaired, hopefully, by the district collector. And in that district collector, advisory group, we'll have all the 5 categories that you know of. That we'll have few media people, we'll have few people, of course, most importantly, our education institution heads in that group. We'd have some people who can independently finance it. You don't know how much money there is in the hinterland. Giving 50,000, 1 lakh, if we get them involved, is not difficult, I'm telling you. So we should get them involved. Number 4 is getting some government people involved, like the district education officer can be part of that advisory group. We had this done very nicely in Saharanpur with Tiwari ji.
Muzaffarnagar.
Muzaffarnagar. I meant to say Muzaffarnagar. In which Tiwari ji called the district education officer and he got him to commit there and then that he will make all the schools send a circular. So that is the 4th category. And 5th category is also very important. Some people who will act like an anchor, who will be the intellectuals, a few of them, who will say, look, you are going off track. So that will also should be there. So these 5 categories, if we have in a small advisory group, which will meet once in 3 months. The structure will be once in 3 months. The executive board, which they make, is 10, which can be extended to even 20 with some other executive members also. It can be made more than 10. 10 will be the office bearers, and like we have in the National Executive, we can have more executive members where, for example, like in Basar, we would not have a 10-member group. We'll have a 30-member group. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So that's the 4th one. And the 5th one is to do something immediately, which has already been stated, but I'm just restating it. This Dashank series was an excellent idea to get that group to see who's the leader who will come up in that group, who will take leadership role, and who will do this thing beautifully. And we have got some wonderful people, thanks to the efforts, as I said, of everybody, but in particular Ankit and Pankaj have done a very good job in this, acting as this interjection of Dashank. So these 5 things I mentioned at every place. Now, for mentoring that, what she said was, what Saraswati said and also Kundaji said, very important. For mentoring all these groups, like we have to get, as was mentioned, people who have been senior in various, for some time, who know how these things function. So, for example, we just say, look, this weekly meeting will be attended online by Yashwant for this particular place, which could be anywhere in the country, not just Bihar. He could be requested to take up whatever area he would like, 1 district or 2 districts or 10 districts, as many districts as he would like to take up, he takes up. And there he mentors what? The weekly meeting. The weekly meeting can be mentored by those particular people and more. So it becomes like units which are almost self